Hi, I'm Karen. Today I'm going to tell you the story of how stories came to be from the Seneca people. And I have with me Praying Mantis. Say hi, everyone. And I have with me my special stone. Oh, you like it? It fits right in the palm of my hand for this story today. Before we begin our story, let's sing to call in the Seneca people to our story, and all the people. Mother Earth, Father Sun, spin us a story is spun. A long time ago, things were very boring because there were no stories at all. And especially during the long, long winters, there was nothing to do, nothing to talk about. People just sat and looked at each other. It was very quiet. It was very dull. There was a boy that lived among them. His name was Gaka. Gaka, Gaka, Gaka. Sounds like a crow, right? Well, that's because he's named after a crow. Because his clothing was black like a crow's. Because it was always dirty with the soot from the fires. He had no one to take care of him and no one to clean his clothes. He was an orphan. And his clothes were often torn because he didn't have anybody to mend his clothes. And his moccasins were old and worn out. And his hair was always in knots. He really wasn't given much attention in the tribe. And he had to fend for himself, to hunt for himself. One day he was out hunting, as he always was. And he gotten for himself a really nice catch of fish. And he was walking back to the village, and on the way he wanted to rest, and he saw a nice outcropping of rocks. He thought, oh, that's a nice spot to sit. You know those kind of rocks that absorb the heat during the day and are really comfortable to lean back on and to relax against. And that was what he was doing. He said, this is so nice. If only I had something to listen to. And in that moment, he heard a voice, and it said, would you like me to tell you a story? And he looked around, and he said, who said that? Who said that? And a stone behind him said again, it is I, the stone. And he looked up, and he saw a great face on the stone. He said, oh, Grandfather Stone, I see and I hear you. I don't know what a story is, but yes, I would like one very much. Grandfather Stone said, well, you must give me something. So Gaka said, I have this catch of fish, and I give it to you for a story. And Grandfather Stone then said, you must say, Neo, to show me that you're ready to listen. Neo, said Gaka. And when I say ho, you must say hen to show me that you have heard me. Hen, said Gaka. And when I say da ne ho, that means I am finished and there's no more story to tell. Hen, said Gaka. And so the story began, and Grandfather Stone told Gaka all about how the earth was formed from the beginning of time. Wow, what an interesting and fascinating stories, so full of magic and majesty and beauty and life, and it was wonderful to listen to and to hear. Gaka listened with great joy. Hen, he said, hen, hen. And when the story was finished, Grandfather Stone said, da ne ho, the story is finished. So when all was quiet that night in the longhouse, Gaka gained some confidence, and he spoke up, and he said, I have a story to tell. And the warriors looked at him and said, who are you, boy, to speak? And one of the mothers said, let the boy speak. I don't know what a story is, but It must be more interesting than this. Well, they all agreed to that. And Gakka said, well, you must give me something for me to tell the story. And so they gave him a small embroidered pouch as a gift. And he took it and he told them, now you must say Nio to show me that you are ready to listen. They said Nio. And when I say ho, you must say hen to show me that you are listening. And they said hen. And when I say da ne ho, that means the story is finished. Hen. They agreed. They were listening. So then he recounted the story he had learned from Grandfather Stone about the beginning of the earth. And they all sat in rapt attention. Never before had they heard something so wonderful, so glorious. Something that just stole their minds and sent them on a journey. It was wonderful. And when the story was finished, Gakka said, da ne ho. But they didn't want it to end, and they said, tell us more, tell us more. And he said, da ne ho, the story is finished. Well, the next day, Gakka went back to Grandfather Stone, and he brought with him some wonderful beads to give to the stone. And the stone gifted him back in story. And it went on like that for quite some time. Gakka learning stories from Grandfather Stone, and then taking the stories and giving them to the people, and the people giving Gakka something beautiful in return. You know, people tried to follow him and find out where he learned the stories, and they would see him resting at the rock, sitting quietly with his eyes closed, relaxed looking, and every once in a while he would say, hen, hen. But that's all that they could hear. And Gakka would take the stories back to the people, and they would gift him in return. So very soon he was wearing really nice clothes. They weren't torn and tattered or dirty anymore. He had fine moccasins. He had a nice bone comb to comb out all of the knots out of his hair. He had good weapons for hunting with. He started to walk taller too. His shoulders back, more pride in the way he carried himself. And of course he enjoyed his time with Grandfather Stone, and he went there every day. And one day when he went to Grandfather Stone finished the story, and he said, da ne ho, I have finished now telling you all of the stories of the earth. You are no longer Gakka. You are Hedotsa, the storyteller, my grandson. And now it is for you to give these stories and to hold and share these stories with all of the people. And whoever listens and listens well will know the stories too. Ho. Hen. Mother Earth, Father Sun, spin us a story is fun. Goodbye, praying mantis. Goodbye, everyone.